Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MySpace podcast. Today, I will be reviewing the book The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 of the Mistborn Saga, I believe. Hopefully my memory's serving me right. I haven't done one of these videos in forever, because it took me forever to finish this book. So yeah. Let's get into it. I can also hear I'm too loud in my ear. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay. Rating. I give this book an 8 out of 10. It was good, but not for me. It wasn't really my type. It was just, a lot of it was really slow paced, and I don't like when books are really slow paced, at least at this time. I like more fast paced books when things are more happening, like there's crazy stuff going on. Not too crazy, because if it's too crazy, then I'm just like, that's too crazy. I can't keep going with that. So yeah, it was just, most of it wasn't. The ending, when it got closer to the ending, it kind of like, it picked up. I think that's also what happened with the first one too, so it was like, most of the book was like an 8 out of 10, but then you start getting to that ending when things speed up. It was like a 10 out of 10. But overall, 8 out of 10, because throughout most of it, I was just wanting it to end. I was just like, I want this to end. I want this to be over with. Like, I can't keep going with this. So yeah. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, it's good. It was just not my type of book. So yeah. Also, it's the ending. The ending's just always so good. So yeah. Plot / storyline. So, I wanted to bring this up. It is young adult. I don't know if I said this in the other one. It is young adult. I can tell you that for sure. Also, really long book. Really long. I don't want to bore you with all that happened, because a lot happened, and I can't talk about a lot of it, because a lot of it is spoilers. So you get like the beginning of it. Yeah, there's just a lot. Also, I will have to mention spoilers from the first book when talking about this one, most likely at least. If not, that's actually, oh, I don't talk about that. Okay, that's just like, you're going to be in the dark about that, actually, because I'm just not going to talk about it. Anyways, let's get started. So, after Vin killed the Lord Ruler, and also Kelsier is dead. Yes, that's his name. Alan becomes king of Luthadel. See, there we go. Actually, I did tell a spoiler that I was going to talk, that I thought I wasn't going to. So, Kelsier is dead, the Lord Ruler is dead, Alan becomes king. So Alan has some very modern views about government. So the king gets his power from the people. There's an assembly who basically have to agree on things to make them happen, you know? At least modern in the US. I don't really know government in other places, I'm gonna be completely honest. I've been too focused on US government for like the year. But I'm done with that now. So, yeah. This also makes it hard to pass laws because nobody can agree on anything and everybody basically hates each other. Because you have 8 merchants, 8 ska, and 8 noblemen. And they all just, like, don't like each other. Yeah. At least the ska's just kind of there. It's more the merchants and the noblemen don't like the ska, basically. Okay, anyways. Luthadel isn't doing that great and is basically just, they're on the verge of starvation. Because they don't actually have any money. Because they also don't know where the adium is. Because that would be the metal that, like, everybody wants and it's super expensive and it, like, you know, could give them money. But they don't know where the Lord Ruler's stash is. So, yeah. But For some reason, actually not for some reason, everyone thinks that the adium is still in Luthadel, but they have never found it. So, yes. Anyways, that's also why these armies come and surround them and begin a siege on them. There are two at first, and there's a third one. The first is Elend's father, Straff. He just basically wants it now. He's like, well, I think it's mine. That's basically honestly what we don't like any of these people. The second is another king. Well, emperor, actually, I think is more the right word for him. In a way. I think. Anyways, this is set. And then the third army comes a little later, and it is led by an old friend of Elend's who used to share the same views as him, but not anymore, because a lot of things happened. Also, this is the army that is filled with giants, which this is in the book summary, like that you get when you look at the back of the book, I believe, at least on Goodreads. So yeah. So, Luthadel is under siege. Everyone basically wants to give up the city to one of these people, but Elend is not willing to do that because he cares about the people and wants the Scot to continue being free and not be oppressed and going back to their old ways. Whew. They're at this, though. Vin is also fighting off some assassins. So, like, just randomly, like, some people like to come and either try to kill her, or Elend, and she has to fight them off. She's also getting close to someone who we don't like. We don't like him. His name is also Zane. Vin is worried about the deepness, which is basically something that destroyed the world before. She realizes what the deepness is, and yeah, it's like the only true thing that they did. I'm kidding. So throughout this book, she's trying to figure out who she is. It's a whole other thing. Elend is also getting trained by Tindwyl? Maybe? Tindwyl? I don't really know. Fantasy names, dude. So, he's getting trained by her to act more like a king, or at least have the persona of one. A lot of things happen, the ending happens, and it ends. I also will go deep down into the ending in the spoiler section. So, yeah. Vin. Whew, this girl. Okay, so she's going through a lot. She's dealing with a lot of conflicting thoughts and feelings. She doesn't really know who she is anymore, and she just feels like she's there as a knife. Mind you, this is brought on because of somebody else. The guy who she's been talking to, he's all like, he just says stuff, and he's all like, why is it always that we have to be the knives and under people, we're more powerful than them, blah 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 blah. She also doesn't feel like she should be with Elend. She feels like she isn't who he is supposed to love or who he needs, so she wants to leave so that he can find that right person. Just, okay. Then we have Zane come around, and he just kind of amplifies those feelings. Like, every conflicting feeling she has, he just kind of, like, amplifies it. So that's probably the reason why she has them in the first place. So you don't like the man. In the end, though, she does, like, she kind of comes to... Sorry. She comes to terms with who she is. And, like, she realizes who she's supposed to be. Like, she's all like, this is me, and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, I can't, like, breathe out of my nose right now. It's weird. I'm not even sick. Okay, maybe I am. I was kind of sick the beginning of last week. Elend. So, he has to learn how to become king. He's being taught by Tindwyl. Yeah. Tindwy. I can speak. So, he becomes more confident and commanding about a lot of these things. Like, he's just, at least his persona is. he basically just becomes a whole other person in a way. Like, he's very different than what he once was. And people didn't respect him because of what he once was. But now people are going to respect him because of this whole new person he's become. Yeah. He also has some things regarding his relationship with Vin. His are less talked about, but also make no sense. Like, why do you think this way? Now to some of the other characters. Okay, before I forget, I need to talk about the whole group. So, Kelsier is dead, but the group stays with Vin and Elend. Most of them, at least in one way or another, like Elend, or at least get along with him. The only one who doesn't is Dox. He just, like, for some reason, cannot get along with him. And it's all him. He just, like, doesn't like Elend because he's a nobleman and stuff. Honestly, it doesn't make complete sense as to why. There's not a lot of reason. The others are fine, though. They're good. Sazed. I don't know what his name is. That's another one of these fantasy names. He is a terraceman and a keeper. I also don't think I talked about him in the other video, so here I am talking about him now. So as a keeper, also keepers are only terracemen. So, but not all terracemen are keepers. But all keepers are terracemen. Makes sense? Yeah. So he has this ability regarding metals where he can fill them with things. So, like, well, it also depends on the metal. So, like, he can store memory, health, strength, speed in these metals. And while he's wearing them, he can then use them up. He can then use them and become stronger, become faster. Yeah. He becomes a little more confident in this book as well, but also he just kind of stays the same. Both Vin and Elend trust him and go to him when they have these conflicted feelings that they have. Tintwill, she's another keeper. Her specialty is kings. Oh, I forgot to mention, Saz's specialty is religion. So basically they have this thing that they focus on more. Her specialty is kings. I'm okay. I can't do this. So she has some kind of different views from Sazed that they're kind of more confined in a way. But also, they would have been a good thing if some of the things that happened didn't happen, you know? Sorry, my nose. It's all my nose. When I talk, I can't breathe out of my nose, and I need to breathe out of my nose. I'm not okay. Also, I'm pretty sure her and Sazed have a thing. I feel like I changed his name. Sazed. I don't really know, man. I don't know how to say his name. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they have a thing going on. Anyways. Chondras. So, they are just a type of, thing. So that's just what they're called. I'm going to tell you what they can do because I just don't really want to go into I can't really go into it. I could go into it, but, like, I don't want to. So, I'm also basically not going to mention them again after this. I could. It probably makes sense for me too, honestly. Anyways, they can take the bones of anything that has died and become them. So, like, if you die, they can then digest you in a way and take your bones and then become you. So basically they're shapeshifters and really good actors. Oh, sorry guys, you have to hear me cough like 24/7. And they like do research on you too. So they will become you, like, completely and figuratively. They become you. Vin gets really close to her Chandra, and yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Nothing that I can say without giving away what happens. Though I do wonder if the Conjure will come back. It's kind of left. For reasons. Hero of Ages, because you will hear this a lot in this book if you read it. Or if you don't. It's just a big part. So, basically, the Hero of Ages is supposed to be the person who saves them all from the deepness, which is something that destroyed the world and made it into what it is. Barren, no sun, and just mist. They do figure out what the deepness is, but there's also some other stuff that don't really go to plan. Spoilers! So again, this is going to go deep into what happened in the end, and it will give the whole ending away. Whole ending. Okay, so Vin is meeting with this other Mistborn, Zane, who's Elend's stepbrother and seems to be a little crazy. He is crazy, but not crazy. Which you realize at the end. It may be weird how it says, but I'm trying to go more in order of what happens. So, one second. Throughout all of their meetings, he is trying to manipulate her into leaving Elend and loving him. Yeah, great. That's why we don't like him. Elend gets kicked out as king and tries to get back in, but he's really good at writing the laws of this thing, so, like, there's no way to, like, cheat. So the assembly then chooses another guy as king. The assembly also gets attacked by some Allomancers. Vin kills them. And before she passes out, she sees a look of horror on Elend's face and thinks that means he's scared of her and doesn't love her anymore, but that's not true. Elend also then thinks later on that Vin doesn't love him anymore because he's not king. You see how they're just kind of like, they don't talk about these things either. They just assume. It's great. So Zane also uses the look on Elend's face to try to get Vin to leave him. It doesn't particularly work, but it does, get those thoughts and feelings started again. But he also convinces her that the Allomancers were sent from Set when Zane actually sent them. And he also continues to manipulate her into going to murder Set and a good 300 of his army. She doesn't end up killing Set, though. Like, he just uses everything against her. She just uses her against her, basically. Elend still loves her despite all this, and he also defends her against everyone saying that she's crazy. So, when Zane comes to take her, she ends up saying no because she loves Elend, and she also just has this bad feeling that she isn't supposed to leave. Zane isn't happy about this. It's basically like, you were supposed to save me, and now I have to kill you. But she ends up killing him, though. She wins that fight. And then we get a little thing from him where the voice in his head is like, you were never crazy. And you're just like, what? Okay. Also this voice, actually I'll talk about the voice later. Never mind. Maybe I'll talk about him now. No, it's fine. And then after this, her and Elend get married. Saz also made this decision earlier on that Vil and Elend need to leave the city because they all know that they're not going to survive with the two remaining armies because Set left because of, what Vin did. So Set and the third army are still, ready to attack. So they know that they won't survive when they do attack. So he lies to them and convinces them to leave and go head to the Well of Ascension. But on the way there, Vin realizes the truth and realizes that the well is actually on Luthadel. So she goes back, saves the city by finding a way to control the giants, just like how she realized how she could control the Contra. This all came up, and I feel like I have to talk about this. So, the her and her Cassandra, like, got really close, and he opened up to her about some things, because she never actually, like, tried to convince him. She never forced him to tell her anything. So that's why he likes her. And also, this Cassandra, this is a big spoiler, the Cassandra wasn't her Cassandra. Her Cassandra was actually killed. This Cassandra is actually Zane's Cassandra. So, but he likes her more than he likes Zane, actually, because she's a nice person. Yeah, basically he, in a way, told her what their weakness is, and that same weakness also helps her. He doesn't tell her directly. She figures it out on her own while she's getting attacked by Zane. That's how she realizes how she can control the giants as well. Blah, 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 blah. She saves the city, right? Now, to the well. Also, they stop the armies. They like, bye. Also, Vin kills Straff, so that helps too. Vin and Ellen go to the well. Now, on the way there, the writing switches POVs from Vin and Ellen to Saz, and it kind of keeps going back and forth, and it's Saz being like, something is wrong, like, nothing makes sense, like, something is just off, like, he's like, I need to stop Vin from doing what she's gonna do, and this feeling is amplified, basically, when the Mist Spirit visits him, and is all like, you have to go stop her from doing what she's gonna do, but they don't know that because the Mist Spirit can't talk, so he just points. He's all like, that way, go that way. I'm like, it's great. However, Saz gets kind of stopped by Marsh, who's, I don't know if we talked about this, but he kind of became one of those mean guys. I don't remember, but they have spikes and stuff. I didn't know what they looked like until recently. I thought it was something completely different. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's not. I thought it's some other thing. I didn't really know what they looked like. I'm gonna be completely honest. I thought they looked one way and I was wrong. I've been thinking about it all wrong. Anyways, Marsh, he's had like this whole like good to bad thing, like becoming one of these things that literally like stole his soul away from him, and now he's kind of being controlled by something or someone. He's like, I don't want to do this, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I gotta kill you. So they have to fight, and he successfully stops Saz from stopping Vin. Anyways, back at the well, the Mist Spirit tries to kill Elend, and Vin is like, I could save him by getting the power from the well and choosing, which is like power of creation, and save Elend. But she knows that he would hate her for it if she doesn't give it up like she's supposed to and save the world. However, it turns out that she wasn't supposed to give it up, because giving it up means that she releases something even worse, something bigger and more evil than the deepness. Basically, this dude, whoever it is, I'm calling it a dude, I don't know, and so this thing actually brought in the deepness, most likely. The Mist Spirit, it turns out, was trying to get her to save Elend with the power and not give her power up. It was just trying to save the world, but the Mist Spirit can't talk, so nobody knew. Also, whatever this thing is, has such great power that it can change words that are written down, and somehow in your memory too. Like, they use your powers with. So if you just have a really good memory, it can't really change that, but it's with the powers, with the Keeper's powers. The Mist Spirit is still a good person because it does go and help save Elend by giving him allomancy and making him a Mistborn. Whoa! Saz is like dead inside because Tintable also died. Sorry, she did. But honestly, so many people died at the end of this book. You got like Clubs is dead. Dox is dead. Tindwell is dead. Who else is dead? I don't know. It felt like a lot of people. It may not have been that many people. It felt like a lot. Most of that group is dead. Those are the people that died. And he ends up going back to where he found the story of, it's a recount of the Hero of Ages and stuff, and realizes a lot of things about what they missed. So, great, right? Like, so many things got changed, and now he knows the truth. And it's like, if I knew it before, I could have stopped it. Yeah, so, Zane, this ties into this ending here. So he's Alan's stepbrother, he works for his father, he's a little crazy, and hears this voice that tells him to kill people. But it doesn't tell him to kill Vin. He also calls this voice God. So, in the end, when Zane is dying, the voice tells him that he was never crazy, and was like, why would I want you to kill her? So, I think that the thing that Vin released is a god in a way. It makes sense. So yeah. Now, it's... so much happened in the end. You can see, like, it's just started getting so crazy. Now, also, this ending, like, it makes me want to go back and read it. Like, I'm like, we'll read the next book. I want to go read the third one. But I know that during this one, I was like, I need to get this over with. I don't want to read it anymore. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to read a different book that Instagram keeps giving me. And I'm going to read it. It's a romance book. And then I'm going to come back to the third one after I get this little break. And I'm going to read it, the third one. So after I take my romance book break, I'm going to come back and read this one. Because I think I just need a break real quick. I need to have a nice little crazy thing going on, because I'm pretty sure this is a crazy romance book. And then I'm gonna come back, read this. I'm also gonna make it, I'll switch the stuff around so that the third video does come after this one, so it's not like this video, romance book, then the third one. No, I'll switch it around, but I'm just gonna read it out of order. Not Instagram, but YouTube will have it in order, so YouTube will have, it won't follow what I do on Instagram. I am putting my Instagram videos up onto YouTube, so yeah. But they're going with the videos, so like when the videos are coming out, my other little videos while I'm reading are coming out before that, so it's all like concise, and like if you want to like go back, if you want to like watch my little videos before the actual video comes out, like right before, you can do that. So yeah, that's about it. I have a lot of stuff to do. I have to go study for tests. I'm so done. Also, should probably eat. Anyways, yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching and listening and bearing through me being able not to breathe and talk. So yeah, have a good rest of your day, night, week, month, year, life. Thank you and goodbye.